A recent report by Uwezo, a regional education advocacy organization, has found that at least 70% of primary schools surveyed in a report admit to using corporal punishment, while 85% of households also resort to physical discipline. Corporal punishment, defined as the intentional use of physical force to cause pain or discomfort, is often justified as a means of teaching children discipline and values.
Whereas they say that children are controlled, children behave better, if you look at those children 10 years or 15 years after leaving school, you know where the challenges we see in society are. The people who are using torture to get statements out of people as a legal process are people who went through corporal punishment, and they can attest that.
However, education experts warn that this practice has severe consequences for child growth, behavior, and academic performance.
Instead of correcting behavior, it actually does instill this fear. The child is afraid of what's going to happen today, the next day. And this leads to poor academic performance. And definitely, with that, it's going to be difficult for them to interact socially with others. You're going to see these kids who, are going to reach in school and they're going to keep quiet. They don't want to talk to people. They're isolating themselves. Of course, children subjected to corporal punishments are also more likely to develop aggressive behaviors because people want to do what's happening to them, reciprocate what's happening to them. So they get to be aggressive, and they also struggle with emotional regulation. They don't know what they should do when they're going through a difficult situation. Should I shout on someone? Should I throw stones at them or break things at home?
The individuals that receive this kind of punishment, they have been beaten, they have been flogged, they have been hit or slapped, have issues of physical harm. This is just as simple as we have had a child whose hand has been broken, whose leg or something like that. Some of them even have challenges with their dental when they have been slapped or beaten so terribly on the face.
The Uwezo report highlights what are common reasons for corporal punishment in primary schools, including theft, which is at 48%, escaping from school at 44.7%, dishonesty 17.9%, fighting and violence 41%, and lying 26.3%. So what does the law say about corporal punishment in Uganda? In 2016, the government banned corporal punishment in schools, but the practice persists.
If we as teachers would go back and just look at that, if we would go and look at the governing principles of teaching in our professional code, if we would go back and look at the penal code, if we would go back and look at the Children's Act, if we would go back and look at every act that has come up, from disability to everything concerning children and how we should manage them, we would look at corporal punishment as the most evil thing.
Education experts attribute the failure of implementation to a lack of awareness, inadequate training for teachers, and a culture that normalizes physical punishment.
The fact that we were beaten does not mean that it was right for us to be beaten. And times have changed indeed. Change is a fact of life. Sometimes we say things, and when they get so near to us, then we begin running away. But the child of, for instance, 1962 is not the child of today. There is a lot of change that has happened over time, and we need to think about this generation.
So what is the way forward? Experts agree that a multifaceted approach is needed to eradicate corporal punishment in Uganda.
We create a culture where children are at the center of their learning. So it's a culture that we can create. Personally, as a parent, I am using it in my home. And it's a call that we give to all teachers, to all parents, to any adult dealing with children, that it is very possible. And you can still have children who are disciplined, as long as you're committed to it. There'll be moments where you'll feel like backsliding. There'll be moments where you'll feel like giving up. But at the end of that day, as long as you're committed to it, you'll find yourself finding a solution. And one thing we need to understand is that when it comes to disciplining children, there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all. I'm going to tell one child, what you're doing is wrong, stop it. And immediately the child will stop. You're going to tell another child, what you're doing is wrong, stop it. And it's like you've just said, now you increase. So you treat children according to who they are.
But we use such methods. You can tell the child to write a story, or to write a sentence, or to write a difficult word, or to spell a word. And then they will keep quiet. No one will talk again. After all, that one has been told to do this. What if they call me out and they laugh at me?
And through the counseling and guidance, we are able to overcome quite a number of challenges. Now, and our discipline of learners has improved, and we don't use corporal punishments because we have that counselor who is helping us.
The experts say the changes can create a safer and more supportive learning environment for all children in Uganda. Lydia Felly Akullu, NTV.